Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stamp It Up demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm hopping on here with 2 more Silly Old Bear cards to share with you. Right now I'm seeing if I can get it to appear on my laptop so I can see comments. And to see how crooked I am, which I am crooked today. Let's try this. We shall see if that helps. There's such a delay. Now just a tad the other way. My internet here, because we live in kind of a rural area, it's not the fastest. So that's why, there we go. That looks pretty straight. If you're joining me today, if you could type in a comment, that would be great. And if you're watching the live on YouTube, if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be great too. That helps me be able to put more videos on there and get more followers. So thank you very much. So today is day 6 of the Silly Old Bear cards. I hope that you're not getting tired of them. There's just so many different things that you could do with them. So these are the 2 we're going to do today. We'll start with this one. I'll put this one aside so we don't get it confused with what we're working on. So like I've said in my previous videos, I made cards with this paper and everything before I made these 15 using the DSP. Now, if I wouldn't have did that, I would have had 2 of these of every image and it would have been okay. But since I went ahead and made some before I even thought about doing this class, I'm changing the scene on certain ones because I only had 1 of those. But I think that I still pick scenes that go well together and that still give you the same message. This one is just going to be horizontal. So I cut the 100 Acre Woods paper horizontal. Now with this paper, you could either have it on this side or the 100 Acre Woods side. So that would be up to you. I think I'm going to change to the 100 Acre Woods map just because I don't think I used that yet. And then we have this as a mat for this. I'm just laying out what we're going to glue together. So we're going to do some gluing first. We're going to glue this. Oh, I have my glue, still has the lid on it. I know I forgot to put the lid on it the other day, so we're going to see if I do need to stick it with a pin. You know, I keep doing that because it sits over there in the corner. The stand does, and I don't think about it when I'm finished to clean it up, to go over and get the glue and put the lid on it. But usually it works pretty good if I use this pin, only now I popped it out of the whole case. So we'll try again. I'm going to have to put a little note on my glass mat or something that says, please put the lid on. So let's see if this works now. There it goes. Okay, so we're going to put that on here. Then we're going to take this and we're going to put it on here. Oh, when I cut this out, I had a piece of vanilla next to it, cutting out the label. So I cut a part of that in vanilla. Okay, so we are going to add some adhesive to the back of this one. And we're going to add it. This is a cute picture too of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet sitting in his living room in front of the fireplace. I think that that is pretty cute. So, next we're going to take some ribbon and put it across the bottom. So, let me find my tear and tape. Be sure I have the bottom at the bottom. Oh, sometimes I just have such trouble getting things started like this. Again, we're going to use the beige ribbon with the pecan pie stripe. And we want to put this at the bottom. So we're going to start over here on this side. We're going to stretch it this way. And we're going to stick it on this side. Get our ribbon cutter, our scissors, and then we're just going to be sure that it doesn't come up or anything by putting another piece of tear and tape over the top. And we don't have to tear off the backing for this because we're going to use adhesive to adhere it to the card base, but this just kind of be sure that it holds it in place. So I think we are ready now to add this to our card front. We'll put some adhesive on there. The great thing about this DSP is that the DSP almost makes your card. You really just have to add a greeting to most of them. Oh, look what happened. I put the tear and tape hanging off a little bit. Let me cut that off so that it doesn't get stuck anywhere. There we go. Oh, it's still kind of hanging out just a little. I just want to be sure it's not sticky, gets stuck to the envelope. Okay, so now we have our ribbon on here. Is it pretty straight? Oh, we should have checked that sooner. It's a little crooked. I'm going to try to move it down. There it goes. Okay. So next we're going to do some stamping. We're going to stamp the label and we're going to stamp inside, which is saying, wishing you everything wonderful. Oh, because you totally deserve it. I think I forgot that part of it. I will look for that in just a second. I do have the wishing you everything wonderful. Or, yeah. But I need the because you totally deserve it. Hopefully it's in the same stamp set. Yes, it is. It's in Charming Sentiments. Sometimes I like to mix the fonts. This one's got the everything in cursive, and then this one is all just printing. So let me see if I got that pretty. Oh, I didn't get it really straight. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's try for our card inside. We need early espresso. These cards are pretty fast to make too. In case you, I think it would be great to make somebody for their birthday a set of 10 the silly old bear cards and make like a little box for them. Or sometimes I have this tote pattern or instructions on how to make a mini tote that holds 10 cards, which is pretty cute. I like to give that to people for their birthday. Okay, wishing you everything wonderful because you totally deserve it. So I wanted to put something at the bottom, and I'm thinking you totally deserve it. So what's better than having Pooh stand with a bunch of jars? But I wanted more jars in front of him than behind him. So what I did was, first I cut around this, which isn't very hard because it's pretty much straight lines. Just the lid across the lids of the jars. If you turn your paper rather than turning your scissors, it really helps you make smoother turns. I've been with Stampin' Up! For 23 years, so at the very beginning we didn't have dies or anything, so if we wanted anything cut, we had a fussy cut. Now we're blessed with so many different dies that we don't have to do it very often. Although I don't mind doing it sometimes. We're just going to kind of cut across here to make it a little even. And now, there's a spot here. Let's see which, if I can see which. This was just my notes to myself, what words to use. So I cut it off after this green one. There's a little like line right here. So I kind of just cut right there. And I put these, when I glue them down, I'm going to put these in front. So let's see about where we have to put these so they're kind of evenly spaced. I think I need to move this way just a tad. Okay, we'll leave Pooh there. And we'll glue this one down. Now, if you wanted to, you could take and put clear embossing powder on here and make these jars look like they're glass. But then I didn't know if I could do it without getting Winnie the Pooh in there. So I didn't do it on these jars. And then I'm just going to kind of put these right next to it. And I'm going to trim it because it went down below my card stock here. And now you still have plenty of room to sign your name. And if you wanted more room, you could always put, some people like to write a lot of messages and stuff. You could always put another piece of vanilla on the back of the card for more writing. And now we're going to do the greeting for the front. Excuse me, which says, sometimes when you go looking for happiness, happiness finds you. I like that saying. So I didn't really get it on there very straight, so I'm going to line it up here on my glass mat. When I was first going through the stamps to find them for today, I kind of just stuck them on a block and didn't really look to be sure I had it straight. So we're going to get this all inked up. We're going to get this straight. We're going to cross our fingers. I might be a little high. Nope, I think that looks pretty good. It's not, it might be a little high. Might be a little crooked too now that I look at it. Well, I don't think I can get it much better. I should just use my Stampin' Positioner every time. Then I wouldn't have to worry about this. So let's see, did we pop these up? We did not pop this up. Or maybe, oh, we did. Okay, so I have my dimensionals. Let me close the ink so I don't stick my arm in it. There we go. So the only thing we have left is some embellishments and some Wink of Stella. So here's our Wink of Stella. Let's do Pooh. And we'll do Piglet over here. We could just see a little bit of Piglet. And we need some jewels, embellishments. So what should we use? I have these, because I'm really not going to do butterflies because this is an inside the house scene. So I think that maybe I will use these darker ones down here. These are expired, or retired. They are earth tone gems. But I am determined to use up some of my retired gems because I just have so many. It doesn't mean I'm not buying new ones too. I have the new In Color butterflies and stuff, but when I can, I'm trying to use some older ones. And there we go. Our first card for today is finished. And that only took us 17 minutes, so that's not bad. So we'll put this one aside, and we'll start with our next one. This one might take just a little bit longer. So, again, I don't have that picture, but I found a different picture with trees in it, so it will work. We have the inside, we have this block, we have the picnic scene cut out. I have an oak leaf, and I have a Tigger for the inside, and some jars for the inside. Here is for my label, for my greeting. Here's the picture I want to cut. Here's the grass. And I put the grass through an embossing folder just to give it some texture. And on this one I did use the DSP with the sky, but I'm kind of running out of that because on the other side of it are characters that you can cut out. So I did this on some future cards that you're going to see, because I just can't, I don't know, I can't waste the characters to have some sky. So I took a piece of the Hydrangea Hue, I put it through the embossing machine with the swirly embosser folder. Then I took my white sponge dauber, or my sponge dauber that's I have for my white ink, and then I kind of just, actually I went across like this so that they look kind of like clouds out there. And I think, actually you could even just do this on the Hydrangea Hue paper with no swirls. I just wanted to give it a little bit of texture, so I used the swirls. But I think you get the same idea when you do this as the sky. It kind of just looks like some clouds floating around. So now I decided on this, I didn't texture this grass, but I did texture this one. So what would happen if I took some garden green and I kind of did the same thing on this? So we're going to see, and if it doesn't look right, we can always just turn it over. I got it a little dark right there. I should have daubed it off first, because then you don't get that like circle. So what do you think? Does that look better? Or does it look better just embossed? I think that because I got some too dark over here and I got a circle there, I'm just going to go ahead and use just the embossed side. But it is something to think about for another card. I want to wipe off this green that I have on my glass mat. Otherwise, I know I'm going to end up with it right in the middle of a card. Okay. Now my cards are falling out of their basket because it's getting so full. So now I'm just going to tear the top of this to kind of make it look like hills. And again, I have green on my nail because that happens. And there's no right or wrong way to tear this paper. I just kind of wanted it not to be just a straight horizon. So there we go. So we're going to take our card base and we are going to crease it. Let me move this stamp out of it. I'm going to move it to this side because I've already used it. This is another horizontal card. So first we're going to put on the sky. We're going to have our usual border because this all together will be 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to add some adhesive on the back. And then I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this one. I don't know, that might have worked too. I just don't like that I got it too dark in a couple of areas. Then I'm going to have it overlap, so I just have enough of a border at the bottom to be even with the border on the top. And the sides are even. Well, almost even. You know, I should have cut, one thing I should have done is put my paper in the cutter at the same time so that I was for sure to get the same cut. Because you could just be off by a 1/16. See how I'm just a tad off right there? And it shows when you're doing this. I'm just going to leave it, otherwise I might cut it too far. Okay, next we're going to cut this seam down to, I wrote myself a little note here. We're going to cut it down to 2.5 wide by 2 3/4 tall. So this is actually half of a piece. This seam goes on and it's on another card. But when I cut this, see, this is got this on the back, and I used it as a background once, so I used up some of my paper. That's why I don't have enough to do 2 of every card. Okay, so now we're going to fix this tall as 2 3/4. So we are going to, it doesn't look like I cut that very straight. Let me just try this again. You know what I learned the other day is if you always cut up, then your paper tends to move less. It can shift a little bit when you cut down. So now we want to say 2 3/4. And we are going to cut off some of the grass, but that's okay. And we want it 2 1/4 wide. So again, we're going to cut off some grass, but that's okay. This is still going to look nice as a big tree to have a picnic underneath. I might have cut it a little bit, not as wide as I thought. Alright, that's okay. You can't go back now, but I'm probably going to have to cut my mat. It probably was 2 1/2 instead of 2 1/4. It was. I should have looked again at my thing. So this should be 2 I cut it at 2 1/4, so this should be 2 1/2 wide. Let's see if that works. All these little things you have to remember when you're cutting paper, because once you cut it, It's done. Nobody's going to ever know, though, that I cut off too much. They're going to think this is exactly how I wanted to make the card. So I'm going to glue this to the mat so I don't lose it. And I didn't put a ribbon on this one because I just couldn't decide where to put a ribbon. Okay, so we have that piece done, and it's going to go. That was very crooked, wasn't it? Must have slid after I stopped laying it down. Okay, so this is going to go on here. Let's say right about there. We want a little bit of sky at the top, some sky on the side. There we go. And now we have our picnic here. I cut this out. And we're just going to put it here, and we're going to pop this up just to give it some height. So let me put some dimensionals on here. We have a very sunny, very hot day here today. Saturday I worked on my garden a lot because I knew it was going to rain Saturday night, so that way it would get good watering. And now today I'm going to have to go out there because I'm sure with how hot it was yesterday and how hot it is today, it's ready to be watered again. I was at a family reunion picnic yesterday. It's about an hour and 40 minutes from here. It's my dad's side of the family. So I went up there for the picnic, so I wasn't, by the time I got home, I was tired and didn't think about watering the garden. Okay, so we're just going to stick this. It's going to kind of overlap our main picture here, but that's okay. Isn't that cute? And so now we're going to stamp. That's the next thing we can do. We need to stamp the celebrate on here and happiest birthday wishes, have a fabulous day. So where, I know I have this, here it is. It's such a little block, I didn't realize it. I fit all those words on this block. And the celebrate is right here. Again, I just grabbed these and stuck them on. I didn't get them straight. Early espresso again. And this one we're just going to use the banner punch to punch it out with. So we kind of want to put it in the middle so we have enough room. I can leave this open because I'm going to do the inside. I love this banner punch and the banner saying stamp set. It makes a great little words for the front of your card when you want your scene to shine more than the greeting. And we're just going to put this on with some dimensionals. See my little dimensionals hanging out there. Let's see if these big ones are too big. They're just the right size if I can get them centered on there. And we're going to put this celebrate right here on the bottom of our picture. And of course, I had some early espresso on my finger, so I got a little bit on here, but we're going to cover that up with a jewel. So, there we go. What we need now is, let's do the butterflies. When I have an outside scene with these, I like to use the butterflies. So what color butterfly should we use today? I'm thinking, how about the white ones? I keep forgetting to get out my new thing of putty, because this one is definitely used up, but we will try our best today. I already dropped it. I'm going to put this big one on here to hide where I smudged the Early Espresso ink. So white is the last one. The white and the Barely blush looks pretty close to being the same color, because Barely blush is so light. I have to put my Pick-a tool, whatever we call this, the picking tool. I've had it so long that the grooves are starting to wear out, but I think I've had it ever since it first came out in the catalog, so that's been years. And when I turn it to the spatula side, it's fine. We're going to put one up here. Now I also have this oak leaf I thought we could put on, and maybe we'll just put it over here on this side with the tree. Did you see that? I almost laid my Pick-a tool in the stamp. In the ink, not in the stamp. Okay, let's see if I want this over here. I think if I do like that, that will look cute. Let me put a little glue on the back. It'll make up for not having any ribbon, having extra embellishments. We're going to kind of just lay it up here. Again, I have to remember, I should have tried to get that Early Espresso off my finger before I tried anything else. So we're going to use some Wink of Stella to Stella the... Oops, I dropped my paper. That's fine. Use my Wink of Stella to cover this oak leaf. There we go. Now for the inside, we're going to say, what are we going to say? Happiest birthday wishes, have a fabulous day. It's two different stamps. I forgot to tell you where these stamps came from. The Celebrate came, of course, from the banner sayings, and these two come from Phrases and Frames, which is a great set too for words. And it also has dies that cut them out, and then so that it'll emboss it afterwards. You can send it through the machine and emboss it. I'm looking for my Early Espresso ink, which is right there on top. Oh, I messed that up a little bit. Let me try again. I got too much ink on the H for happy. Then it'll just kind of be like a blob if I use it. So we'll try again. That's much better. Get this straight. Get this straight. I am terrible today. See my thumb? Now I got a spot down there. I don't know. Sometimes I need to have wet ones just sitting right here for when I'm stamping, so that when I do this, I can wipe off the ink I get on my fingers. I'm going to use this eraser here. It usually works pretty good if it's not too dark of a spot. There, it's much lighter now. Okay, so what do I have for here? I have Tigger laying here in the grass. He's going to go right here. And then I have these 2 jars of honey. I want to trim them a little bit more at the bottom. So since I have these, I'm going to show you what I do. I have my Versamark, and I'm just going to kind of take it and push it in my Versamark. I'm going to take it out. And then I have my clear embossing powder. I got this jar a long time ago, so now I just put my clear embossing powder in it because it's just a great way to do things quickly like this. Let me get my tweezers. And I'm just going to shake a little on there. Shake it off. I have other containers too that I have to put my embossing powder in. Like, you know, not Tupperware. No name brand little containers. See, that just takes a minute and it makes them look so cute when they're all shiny, so they look like glass. I noticed here I didn't round my corner very well. Alright, take it out of the tweezers, put the tweezers away, find the glue, add some glue. Flip this over. We're going to make it look like he's just getting ready to open some jars of honey, or he's going to give them to Pooh for his birthday. I'm not sure if Tigger eats honey. And then this will be all ready to go on the inside, and I think we have everything. We did some Stella on the leaf. I didn't have a ribbon on this one, and then our little butterflies are flying around the picture. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed these cards. If you have any questions or you would like to order something, just let me know. Have a wonderful afternoon. Happy stamping. Bye.